Hello and welcome to StudyIQ. In this lecture, we will discuss about the Consumer Protection Bill of 2018. Consumer Protection Bill. The Consumer Protection Bill of 2018, which is introduced in the Lok Sabha in the month of January 2018. This tries to replace the Consumer Protection Act of 1986. So, the Consumer Protection Act of 1986. So, this tries to replace this particular Consumer Protection Act. So, what is the speciality of the Consumer Protection Act 1986? See, the Consumer Protection Act was enacted in the year 1986. This means that this is before the opening up of Indian economy. So, as we all know, we adopted liberalization, privatization and globalization in the year 1991. So, this Consumer Protection Act was introduced before the new economic reforms, which are liberalization, privatization and globalization. You all know what happened in the Indian economy after the new economic reforms. So, after the opening up of the economy was liberalized, which means more and more firms, businesses came into the economy. It was privatized. More private players came to the picture and also globalized, which means international players also came to the market. So, a Protection Act which was enacted before the 1991 or new economic reforms were incapable of meeting the present needs of the society or the economy. So, now at present the society has moved a lot forward from the 1986. So, now the economy is entirely different. The consumption pattern of the individuals or households are different, or the businesses that exist are different. So, consumers need a new set of rights, or consumers need rights according to the present market scenario. So, this was the purpose why the Consumer Protection Bill was introduced in the year 2018. So, as we said, this bill was introduced in the Lok Sabha in January 2018. So, this was introduced by the Minister of Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution, Ramvilas Paswan. So, the Consumer Protection Bill of 2018 aims to maintain transparency and also to safeguard the consumer rights. And another aim of this bill is to protect those companies which are transparent. So, some companies would be transparent and sometimes these companies would get affected by the fraudulent few other companies. So, in order to safeguard and protect the companies or businesses which are already transparent, that is also one purpose of the Consumer Protection Bill of 2018. So, according to the bill, this bill seeks to make punishment stricter for offenders, including jail terms and fines. So, let us see in detail what is Consumer Protection Bill of 2018. So, under the Consumer Protection Bill of 2018, a set of rights are given to the consumers. To be specific, there are 6 rights under the Consumer Protection Bill of 2018. Now, we will discuss the important rights under the Consumer Protection Bill of 2018. The first right is the consumers will get protected against the marketing of goods and services which are hazardous to life and property. So, according to the bill, the first right is against the marketing of hazardous goods and services. So, according to this bill, the consumers will get protection against the marketing of goods and services which are hazardous to life and property, which means that now the firms or companies cannot market those goods and services which are hazardous to health and life. Second one is right to information, or the consumers will be informed. What will they be informed? So, the information would be regarding the quality, quantity, potency, purity, standard and price of the goods and services. So, according to this bill, the consumers have a right to be informed against the purchase of certain goods or services, and this information will be regarding the quantity, quality, potency, purity, standard and also the price of the goods and services. So, the seller must inform the consumer regarding all these things of the goods or service. The third right is with regard to access. So, according to the Consumer Protection Bill of 2018, consumers will get access to variety of goods and services at competitive prices, which means that the consumers will have a wide range of commodities from which they can choose, which means the government will not allow monopoly of goods or services. So when there is monopoly, consumers have limited choice. So when there is no monopoly, otherwise when we say that there is no monopoly means there is perfect competition. So when there is perfect competition in the market, there will be many number of firms. So they will be selling the goods and services at competitive prices. So according to the bill, the consumers will have access to more variety of goods and services at competitive prices, which means there will be no monopoly of goods and services in the market. They will be given, or the consumers will be given more number of choices and goods at competent prices. The next right is regarding redressal. So according to the bill provides right to redressal. So what is redressal? Redressal means the right with which grievances or complaints can be settled. So according to the bill provides consumers to seek redressal or mechanism to seek redressal against the unfair or restrictive trade practices. So under this bill, the consumers will have a grievance settlement mechanism as well. Again, one thing you should remember is under the bill there is a proper definition given for the consumers. So the bill provides a proper definition of who is a consumer, and according to the bill, a consumer is a person who buys any good or avails a service for a consideration. So for a consideration means price. So a consumer is defined as a person who buys any good or avails any service for a consideration, not for free but for consideration, which means a person who makes payment and purchases or avails some service. According to the bill, this is the definition of a consumer. One more thing you should remember about this bill is this bill covers not only offline transactions but also online, telephonic or electronic or direct selling. Everything is covered under this bill. Means if you go to a shop and purchase something, that is offline transaction, that is also covered. If you buy something online, that is also covered under this bill. If you buy something through tele-shopping, that is also covered. Again, by electronic means or direct selling. If somebody is coming to your house and ask you to purchase something, so you have purchased a particular product, that is direct selling, that is also included under this bill. So now we will discuss about some important bodies which are constituted under this particular bill. Firstly, the Consumer Disputes Redressal Commission. Consumer Disputes Redressal Commission. So according to the bill, a Consumer Dispute Redressal Commission will be set up at district, state and national levels. So in the district, state and also in the national level, there will be Consumer Disputes Redressal Commission, and this will be given quasi-judicial power. So the commission will be given quasi-judicial power. This will be a quasi-judicial body. So under the Consumer Dispute Redressal Commission, a consumer can give a redressal or grievances. He can file a complaint in this commission. So firstly, the consumer can file the complaint in the District Consumer Disputes Redressal Commission. So if the consumer is not satisfied with the District Disputes Redressal Commission, he can go to the State Commission. If he is not satisfied in the State Commission also, he can approach the National Consumer Disputes Redressal Commission. And if he is not satisfied even at the national level, he can give appeal in the Supreme Court. So from the national level, he can give appeal in the Supreme Court according to the provisions of the bill. The second important body under this bill is Central Consumer Protection Authority. Central Consumer Protection Authority. So the purpose of the Central Consumer Protection Authority is to protect, promote and enforce consumer rights. We have already seen what are the consumer rights under the bill. So the purpose of the Central Consumer Protection Authority. So as the word itself suggests, Consumer Protection Authority, the purpose will be to protect, promote and enforce the consumer rights. So, according to the bill, this authority will be responsible for issuing safety notices. So, also this authority can order for refunds. In case if a product is not up to the mark, this authority can ask for refund or order for refunds. And also the authority can recall goods. As we said, the aim of this authority is to protect the consumers, protect the consumers and also to promote the consumer rights. So, this authority is also responsible for making rules against the misleading advertisements. Misleading advertisements can mislead the consumers. So, the Central Consumer Protection Authority can bring rules against the misleading advertisements. Also, if the consumer suffers an injury because of a defect in a particular good or a service, the consumer can claim product liability against the manufacturer or the seller or the service provider. So, all this will be provided by the Central Consumer Protection Authority. Also, this authority defines unfair and restrictive trade practices as well. Again, coming to the third body, the third important body under the Consumer Protection Bill of 2018 is the Consumer Protection Councils. So, the Consumer Protection Councils. According to the bill, the Consumer Protection Councils will be set up at the district, state and national level. So, district level, state level and also national level. So, what is the purpose of Consumer Protection Councils? These councils will render advice on consumer protection. So, they will give some advices regarding the consumer protection. So, these are the three important bodies under the Consumer Protection Bill of 2018. So, now let us analyze these three bodies. First of all, the Consumer Disputes Redressal Commission. So, we already said that this is a quasi-judicial body. This will be set up at the district, state and also national level. So, at the district level, state level and also national level, this will be quasi-judicial bodies. So, according to the bill empowers the central government to appoint members of this commissions. And also, according to this bill, the bill does not specify that the commission will comprise of a judicial member. So, two limitations. One thing, this is appointed by the central government, and secondly, regarding the judicial member, there is no specification given in the bill. So, if there is no specification given in the bill regarding the judicial member, what can happen? It can also comprise of only executive members. So, if the Consumer Disputes Redressal Commission contains only executive members, what will happen? The principle of separation of power will be violated. So, this is one thing you should note. So, the separation of powers, this principle will be diluted. Also, coming to the second thing, we said that this is constituted by the central government. So, the bill empowers the central government to appoint, remove and also prescribe the conditions of service of the members of district, state and national Consumer Disputes Redressal Commission. So, what will happen? The composition itself is by the central government, and central government has all the authority to appoint them, remove them and also prescribe conditions. So, the independence of the quasi-judicial bodies will be lost. So, this is the second thing. So, since everything is done by the central government, the independence will be lost. Again, coming to the Consumer Protection Councils, we said that this will be in the district, state and national levels. So, this is an advisory body. We said the purpose of this council is to advise. And according to the bill, the state council and the national councils will be headed by the ministers in charge of consumer affairs. So, state and national level headed by ministers in charge of consumer affairs. But what is the drawback here? The bill does not specify whom the councils will advise. So, we said the purpose of this council is to give advice, but there is no specification on who this councils will give advice to. So, if the councils advise the government, it is unclear in what capacity such advice will be given. So, there is a lack of clarity regarding to whom the advice is given by the Consumer Protection Councils.